Stoney, and you know the thing about these guys, Joey Chestnut and Matt Stoney, is that they're really thin. Everyone thinks, oh, he has to be fat, like you and me.
No, Stoney weighs 130 pounds.
Yeah, you and me, they think, well, they're kind of heavy, they can hold more. Actually,
Stoney's like jockey size.
The thing is that the thinner you are, the more your stomach expands. So that's why they can hold more food. Sometimes you'll see this big fat guy up there. And
like my man Eric Badlands Booker.
Yeah.
Who might be listening to the show. He's a Long Island guy. He works for Long Island Railroad.
Well, I'm sure if he's
I hope Badlands is listening.
I'm sure he's in Brooklyn right now if he's going. So anyway, but when you're fatter, your body doesn't expand. Well, your stomach doesn't expand because this thing's blocking it. So that's why.
Science.
Yeah, that's why all the thin guys. Okay, last week we were talking about the Mets, and we were talking about the fact that they lost to the Braves, and we were all worried. This weekend...
They weren't hitting at all.
They weren't hitting.
And they were terrible.
This weekend, they destroy the Cubs.
The best team in baseball, the Cubs.
Yeah, and they destroyed them. Like it was the continuation of the NL playoffs from last year.
Swept the Cubs.
Hard to believe.
Four-game sweep, which is rare because a lot of teams don't play four-game series very often.
So I'm like, wow, what's going on in 1 week? That
the Mets are impossible to figure out.
First of all, Wilmer Flores, woke up from the coma he was in. And why is that? Because our Jose is coming into town in a couple of weeks.
I mean, he went 6 for 6.
Yeah, I mean,
and this was a day after, who was it? I think it was C.J. Cron from the Angels, went 6 for 6 against the Red Sox in a 21-2 win.
Right.
The Angels beat the Red Sox. That was awesome. But Wilmer Flores goes 6 for 6 on Sunday, 2 home runs. So, if nothing else, the Mets can give Jose Reyes a few more at-bats in the minor leagues. I mean, from that standpoint, it's encouraging anyway. It doesn't make any sense. The Mets destroyed John Lester. Lester was pulled there after 1 1/3 innings, the shortest outing of his career. They beat Jake Arrieta the day before. They're hitting home runs off of both of these guys. It didn't make any sense. But it's what it is, and it's encouraging for the Mets, assuming they can get to the playoffs, because that's certainly not a given at this point. I'm not even entirely sure where they are in the standings with the Nationals. I know obviously the Nationals are still in first place, and the Mets are kind of battling with the Marlins for second.
Right.
But this was it just goes to show that the Mets are still kind of an up and down team at this point, and they're still kind of they rely so much on the home run. This offense, if the Mets hit home runs, they're going to score not only some runs, they're going to score a bunch of runs. But if they don't hit home runs, it's 1 or 2 runs. This team is incapable of playing small ball, and that's been their downfall so far this season. For the most part, the pitching has done mostly what it's expected to do. But if the offense is scoring 1 or 2 runs, you certainly can't expect the pitching to do everything for you. And recently the bullpen has taken a little slide backwards. Antonio Bastardo was trying to figure things out, and Addison Reed got hit hard a few times. So, maybe the Mets look to make a deal to strengthen the bullpen. I don't know. They don't have a whole lot of trade chips, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it was an encouraging 4-game series for the Mets.
I think the Mets have to continue this week beating up on Miami. They start tonight against Miami, 4:10 this afternoon. If they can sweep them,
Well, I mean, that's asking a lot. Just win the series. That's all. That's baseball. Baseball is all about winning series.
Right.
You take 2 out of 3.
I know.
3 out of 4, whatever. I mean, if you get a sweep every once in a while, that's great. But take 2 out of 3. Just keep taking 2 out of 3.
Right. Also, what else?
Yankees.
The Yankees.
The Yankees said.
Are you happy this week with the Yankees?
No. I haven't been happy since a couple of years ago.
Okay.
The Yankees said this week that Andrew Miller will not be traded. Personally, I think that's a ploy to drive up his price. The Yankees and the Cubs right now are perfect trading partners. The only other better trading partner I can see for the Yankees is probably a deal that will never happen, because the other trading partner would be the Red Sox. Because the Red Sox minor league is very good, their system. But the Cubs and the Yankees would be perfect trading partners, because the Cubs need a better bullpen, and the Yankees have still probably the best bullpen in baseball. Maybe the best bullpen ever created, with Dellin Betances, Andrew Miller, and Aroldis Chapman. Now, the Yankees need to get Kyle Schwarber from the Cubs if any trade is going to happen. And the Cubs have said they're not trading Schwarber, and that you know, if that's the price, then it's not going to happen. Somewhere along the way, this whole stalemate needs to be broken, because that's the guy the Yankees need. But the Cubs do have a lot of good prospects, and something could be done. There's Ian Happ is a guy who's down there. Gleyber Torres is a guy who they signed from, I think it was the Dominican, who was doing very well for them. So the Cubs do have a ton of prospects, but something should happen. The Yankees are claiming that they're not going to be sellers. I don't understand that. I think what they need to do is get as many good prospects as they can for guys like Beltran and Chapman and Miller, and I heard on ESPN last night that there could even be a market for CC Sabathia, which, if there is, unload that contract.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know,
no, he has been playing good.
No, he's pitched well. Don't get me wrong, but that's why there's a market now, because he's showing that there's still something there. But do I want to pay CC Sabathia $25 million next year? Absolutely not.
No, but you know, maybe by trade, you know, part of the deal with the trade is the Yankees pick up some of the money. You know.
I'm sure it will be, because to get a better prospect, that's what they're going to have to do. But this way, with him pitching well this year, you don't have to pick up as much of it.
You've already said that you think that the Yankees should be sellers and start rebuilding, and which is something the Yankees don't really do on purpose.
No, but they made the wild card last year. They didn't make the playoffs the year before.
You don't care about the wild card.
I don't care about the wild card, because it's useless.
Okay.
All right? Because the Yankees don't have the kind of ace that you need to throw in a wild card game. Last year they got embarrassed by Dallas Keuchel from the Astros, and they don't have that guy. So when they finally get whoever that pitcher is going to be, who becomes their ace like that, that's when I won't mind getting to the wild card game. But until then, who's their guy? Or they'll throw Tanaka. He'll throw a pretty good game, and the Yankees will score one run and lose. So what's the point in going to the wild card game unless you have that stopper kind of ace that is not on their roster right now?
Part of it is, you know, image. You know, we made the playoffs.
Stop with the image. You know, they say rebuilding, and I'll be quick here. They say rebuilding and how that's a bad thing. How is making a few trades in one season, how is that rebuilding? And how is not making the playoffs? Let's face it, the Yankees have been mostly a fourth-place team all season. So to say that we're right on the verge and we're close and this and that, take an honest look at your team. And that's what the Yankees should be doing. I think Brian Cashman is taking an honest look. I think guys like Randy Levine and Trost and these guys that I can't stand are looking at things and saying, well, you know, we're still close and we can get this done.
Right.
Take an honest look at your team. It's not a playoff. It's not a World Series kind of winning team.
No, and I get angry like you, and I'm not a Yankee fan when I see Ron Trost and Randy Levine talking. Because, you know what, I'd rather have Hank Steinbrenner giving me a rundown of the team than those two idiots.
Well, Hank or Hal? Hank's the crazy one.
That's why I want Hank. I want Hank. He's the crazy one.
No.
Okay, brother, 5 minutes left. We are a soccer-friendly show, for those who don't know that. What happened, my brother, with Euro 2016?
It's been a crazy tournament so far. First of all,
what is Euro 2016?
It is a competition for the best team in Europe, as the title would suggest. It's basically kind of a World Cup style tournament. Teams have to qualify for. Yeah, all of the teams are European based.
Okay.
There have been 2 surprises in the tournament thus far. The biggest one still has to be Wales, because they're still in the tournament. Mike Peters of the Alarm, his favorite team, has surprised an entire nation, because this is actually the first time since 1958 that Wales has even qualified for a tournament, whether it be Euros or the World Cup. So there weren't expectations of this team coming in, even though they have Gareth Bale, who's one of the best players in the world. But most people expect that, all right, maybe they'll fall in the group stages, or even if they get through, then they'll be done after one game, you know, with the knockout round. But here's Wales now in the semifinals, and going up on Wednesday against Portugal in a game that will pit Gareth Bale against his Real Madrid teammate Cristiano Ronaldo, who some see as the best player in the world. He's one of the top 2. So that should be a fun match. I think Wales certainly has a chance to win the game, even though they have a couple of guys who were suspended for the game due to yellow card accumulation, which I think the Euros need to change, because too many guys are missing semifinal games after yellow card accumulation. it's ridiculous is what it is. But Wales has just, I mean, the entire nation is invigorated by what's going on. You see it in videos all over Facebook and ESPN, and it's just pandemonium has broken loose.
ESPN Wales?
No, but they have cameras though. They have cameras everywhere, and you see the videos. Mike Peters, he and his wife, they posted parties, everybody jumping around like crazy people after they scored a goal. My friend Bevan is on vacation. He's been drinking his face off with other Welsh people in Spain somewhere.
I think he'd be doing that even if it wasn't.
It's easier this way. It's better.
Even if it wasn't the games to go to.
The other surprise is Iceland. All right, Iceland, which is basically the size of Rhode Island, made it to the quarterfinals of the Euro 2016, and lost yesterday to France. They finally crashed. They finally melted. 5-2, France beat them. But this is. Iceland beat England 2-1 in the round of 16, which pretty much universally was called the worst loss in England history by pundits all over the world. Now you must remember, England lost to the United States in 1950 in the World Cup 1-0, and I still maintain that that is the worst loss in England history, because a lot of those guys who were playing for the United States team were like dock workers and restaurant workers, and they weren't real soccer players, quote unquote. You know, they were guys who had real jobs, who it was the U.S. put together a team as like, all right, we're going over and we're playing in the World Cup. And to beat England, which was this was the World Cup back then in 1950. To beat England back then, which was a professional team, was remarkable. I mean, Iceland, granted, the players on that team may not have the pedigree of a lot of the England players, but there are players on the Iceland team who play in the Premier League and who play in some of the best leagues in the world. So it's not like it's a bunch of ragtag amateurs, but when you're talking about a country of 550,000 or so people, I mean, that's it. That's what Rhode Island we're talking about. To beat England in a match of this caliber is remarkable.
Who do you think's going to win the tournament?
I mean, I still think it's going to be Germany. I mean, Germany's playing France on Thursday. That should be a great match because, you know, France is the host country, and Wales, Portugal is the day before on Wednesday. I would love to see Wales make the final just because the whole country is behind them now. Mike Peters actually did a song for the national team before they left for the Euros, and I firmly believe that has spurred them to where they are now.
Only reason I can think of it.
It's you know, without a doubt. And then the final is Sunday, which the Germany-France game is Thursday. It's only 2 days, and then they got to play again. So that's a little bit of a disadvantage, which kind of surprises me with France being the home country. But you know, the Wales-Portugal game, I still think Germany wins it. Let's put it that way. They're too good, and they showed yesterday, even though 2 days ago, I'm sorry, even though against Italy, which was supposed to be this remarkable match, and it just turned into just completely boring, and it went to penalty kicks, and the penalty kicks were embarrassing. Guys were missing the goal. The Italy coach actually put in a guy named Zaza just before the end of overtime because he wanted him to take the penalty kick, and I don't even know if he touched the ball during the game. He was in the game for a minute. So he steps up to the penalty kick and skies it over the crossbar. So there's your genius move, just blown to hell.
That does it for From the Pressbox as we end off on some soccer, as they say, football.
They just say football. They don't say it like that.
They don't say football?
No, just football.
Okay. Anyway, you're listening to From the Pressbox right here at 90.3 FM WHPC, Garden City, New York. Tim Leonard is on Twitter. And what's your handle, brother?
That'll be @RealTimLeonard.
I am Rob Leonard. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next Monday with more sports. I'll see you Friday with Beatles songs 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. and I'll see you with the free-for-all on Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Anything else, brother?
Yes, and beware the reversal of fortune.
What's that?
That says the Nathan's Hot Dog Contest.
Oh.
Think about it.
Oh, yes, I will. Keep that in mind. Stay tuned to the People's Pharmacy right here at 90.3 FM WHPC, Garden City, New York.
Stress has been linked to negative self-confidence.
I don't know what's going on with these batteries. The battery, I thought it had enough life in it. It crapped out after like 3 minutes.
This is the People's Pharmacy.
There's no AC plug.